Okay, so the very front sheet, it wants to know, classify each variable according to the set of numbers that best describes its value. Okay, the key word there is best. Okay, so what best fits? Okay, we have all numbers are real numbers, right? And then there's rational and irrational numbers. Okay, within those rational and irrational numbers, there are numbers like, goodness gracious, integers, natural numbers, whole numbers. Okay, some consist of positive, negative, zero. Were you here on Friday, Isaac? Okay, so what are some examples of rational numbers? Where do rational numbers come from? Okay, we know a repeating decimal is one. Right, what else is there?
Fraction.
A fraction is another one. Okay, and then there's like terminating decimal, meaning like 8.5, okay, $8.50. Okay, integers are going to be all those positive, negatives, and zero. Okay, and then you got whole number is a zero and just positives, and then natural are the counting numbers. Okay, so if we look at number one and we think about the number of times a ball bounces. So if I have a basketball and I start bouncing it, okay, as always, start on the inside. So, but I just want you to think about it logically. Can you bounce a ball a fraction of a time? No, not exactly, because you can't say if you did it exactly half. Okay, can you bounce a basketball a decimal of a time? Not really. Okay, can you bounce it negative of times? No. And you can't bounce it 0 times because then it didn't technically bounce, right? Otherwise, you're just holding the ball. So the only category that's really going to fit in is just going to be natural. Okay, that best describes those values. Okay, we could bounce it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. What's up, babe? We'll come get one. Okay. The selling price of a house. Okay, what about the selling price of a house? What are prices? What kind of number are prices?
Decimals.
Decimals, which is what? What kind of number? It's rational. Okay. Anything to do with money is always going to be rational. Okay, 5. It says a measuring cup value. What is a measuring cup value? What's the best number that describes?
Rational.
Rational, why?
It's a fraction.
Yeah, measuring cups are fractions. So you have a fourth of a cup, a half of a cup. Okay, so that's going to be rational. Okay, 7, the last 4 digits of your phone number. Okay, I just want you to think in your head, what's your phone number? Okay, mine is 1933. Okay, so could you have a negative number for a phone number?
No.
Or a fraction? No, so it kind of limits you, okay, a whole number or natural. Okay, so could you have a 0 in your phone number or not?
Yes.
Yes, so that's going to be what type of number? A whole number. Okay, the next page is just about graphing. Okay, these are just graphing real numbers, and then we're going to compare real numbers. Now, this seems pretty easy, but I always like to refresh because some people don't really know how to graph properly. Okay, so on all of these, it should look like a line, right? This was saying. Tommy, you can come up in like 15 minutes. Okay, so on all these you should have a line, okay? And you should have 1, 2, 3 tick marks. Every single one. Okay? Your middle mark is gonna be the closest thing to that number. So in this case it's gonna be 0. Okay, and what's gonna go on this side?
1.
1, and then on this side, -1. Okay, you go up 1 and down 1. Okay, and then all you gotta do is put your dot on here, and in algebra, you really have to indicate what that number is. Now we know we can tell that it's exactly on that tick mark, but if it was like 1.5, okay, you'd put a dot and you'd write above it 1.5. Okay, that way those people, whoever it is, can tell exactly what that number is. Okay, and I'm gonna actually skip around a little bit so we can do the evens because all the odds are the easy ones. Okay, if you look at 10, okay, we're definitely gonna draw our line, and we're gonna draw 3 tick marks for sure. Okay, either on your calculator or phone. Okay, if you're gonna use your phone, that's fine. Okay, I use mine. You're gonna have to turn off or on that auto rotate. Okay, so your phone can turn sideways. That's how you have to use these. Most of you guys are gonna use them on your iPad or whatever. So we wanna know a negative square root of 24. Okay, so I know this number is definitely gonna be negative something. Okay, so on your phone you can type in 24, and then there is a button and it has like a little 2 with a square root on the outside. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, that's what your button should look like. That's a 2, by the way. Okay, so you're gonna push that and it gives you the decimal value of that number. Okay, and it's 4.89. Okay, that's our approximation rounded number. Okay, so on our graph, what should be our middle number?
0.
Not 0, 'cause
4.89.
not 4.89, because these gotta be whole numbers. So what is the closest whole number that you can do?
5.
You can do 5. Okay, so that means this one's gonna be 6 and 4.
Negatives.
Negative, sorry. You're right. So this is backwards. So it's gonna be -4, -6. Okay, which is confusing. Like the reason I switched them, because if you kept going, it's gonna be -3, -2, -1, 0, and then start positive 1, 2, 3. Okay, so -4.89 is gonna be between the 4 and the 5, or the 6 and the 5? The 4 and the 5, okay? And obviously it wants to be pretty close over here. Okay, and so when we write that number down above it, okay, because that lets the people know what number it is, you're gonna put negative square root of 24. The reason I can't do 4.89 is because my phone didn't actually said 4.89. Okay, the phone said 4.89897949, okay, and that number kept going, and so what kind of number is that anyways?
Irrational.
It's irrational, okay, because the decimal didn't end and it kept changing. It was a 7, then an 8, then a 9, then a 4, okay? So if you look at, actually, I'm gonna have you do 12, let's do 13. Okay, so we're gonna draw our little chart, and we draw 3 tick marks. What should be our center number?
4.
4? Okay, so then we're gonna have 5 and a 3. Okay, where about does 3.5 go? Between the 3 and the 4, or the 4 and the 5? The 3 and the 4, okay? And just put it somewhere in the middle, and it's gonna be 3.5. Okay, and then the last page, compare the following numbers. Okay, this one you're gonna need to use your phone or iPad, okay? And so I want you to practice now, because that way when you do it on your own, you're gonna know. Okay, so if we look at 16 and a square root of 16, okay, and I just want you to try it. Okay, I know some of you guys probably know what a square root of 16 is. Okay, you're gonna turn your phone sideways or your iPad. Okay, and you type in 16. And then you're gonna look for that square root with that 2 on the outside. Okay, and what number did you get? 4, perfect. Okay, you should have got a 4. If you didn't get a 4, then let me know now so that way I can help you. Okay, so we know that this number is still 16. A square root of 16 is actually what? 4. Okay, and so all they wanna know is which one is bigger? 16 or 4? 16. Okay, and so if you don't remember, the alligator mouth, okay, eats the bigger number. Okay, and so we can see here that this is the alligator mouth, and so that's gonna eat the 16 because it's bigger. Okay, 17, we got a square root of 5 and a square root of 7. Okay, somebody do a square root of 5, what do you get? So what's up?
2.2
Okay, good. And a square root of 7, what do you get? 2.6. Okay, so which one is bigger, 2.2 or 2.6? 2.6. So that means out of the square root of 5 and the square root of 7, which one is bigger? The square root of 7. Okay, and so that mouth should be faced towards the 7. He needs to eat the 7. Okay, 19, negative 8 or a square root of 70. Okay, now, I just want you to think about this, and I'm not even trying to, what is bigger, a negative number or some positive number?
Positive number?
A positive number. So do you really even need to see what a square root of 70 is?
No.
No, because you know no matter what the number is, it's got to be bigger than negative 8. Okay? And so that alligator mouth should be eating that square root of 70. Okay, and then we have 100 and a square root of 100. Okay, so the 100 is still going to be 100. What is a square root of 100? 10. So what is bigger?
100.
The 100. Okay, so your alligator mouth should be eating 100. Okay, you guys go through and do all of the other ones that I did not do. And I'm sorry because I kind of bounced around today, but it's just the way it works. And when you're done, make sure I've got a bunch on Friday that your name is on the top of that paper.